And welcome to my first YouTube video. Today we are going to be talking about the Brutal Birthright series. The Brutal Birthright series is a 6-book long series written by Sophia Lark. The series starts off with Brutal Prince and then moves on to Stolen Heir, Savage Lover, Bloody Heart, Broken Vow, and last but not least, Heavy Crown. It is not going to be a spoiler-free video, and these are all my thoughts and opinions on this series. Let's start off with the first book. Starting off in the first book, we have two families. We have the Griffins, which is the Irish Mafia in Chicago. We've got the Gallios, which are the Italian Mafia in Chicago. The only girl from the Gallios family decides to do something very stupid to the Griffins. This is the two families that we are following. This book, Brutal Prince, follows this girl and this man. The guy's name is Colum and the girl's name is Adia. Adia decides one day that she wants to crash a party, which so happens to be Colum's little sister's party. Colum's little sister we get to meet her in the second book, in the Stolen Heir. We're going to talk about her very soon. But she gets stuck in a pickle and is about to get caught by Colum, but doesn't want to. So what she does, she sets his library on fire. Because you just do that sometimes. That does a lot of different things, and it ends up with them being forced into an arranged marriage. This series is a mafia series, which means there's also a lot of shooting and guns and that type of stuff. I gave this book 3.5 stars, which I'm changing now to 4. If you ask me, this is the next best book in this series. And it was not a lot happened, but not a little happened. And I really liked that. It was not too much, not too little. I do recommend this book. Moving on to Stolen Heir, we are following Nessa Griffin, which again is the daughter of the Irish Mafia, or one of them at least, and Mikolai Wilk, which is a part of the Russian Mafia. The Russian Mafia wants more and more power because the two most powerful families in the city are the Griffins and the Gallios, and they're even more powerful now when their families are combined from this book. And obviously, they want more power then. So Mikolai decides one day, I am going to kidnap Nessa. Nessa isn't really a part of the mafia life. She lives more by herself. She doesn't live by herself. She does live with her parents, but she's not into all of the dangerous stuff and illegal stuff. She is a ballerina, and it is her we have depicted on the front page. This was 100% the best book in the series. A lot of stuff happened. It was Stockholm Syndrome. It was spicy. It was lovely. Lovely book. I really, really did like this book. I gave this book 4.5 stars, but depending on my mood, it is a 4.25. It is not close to a 5-star, I will not say. It did have potential, but considering how short all these books are, there isn't a lot you can do with 300-something pages. Into the next book, we have Nero Gallio. He is the big brother to Adia from the first book, and we are following Camilla Rivera, who is somebody from Nero's high school when he went to high school. And it's kind of like they both feel like they don't deserve love, but they both slowly find comfort and safety in each other. And I think this book is very, very cute, and a lot of stuff does happen, but it's not as serious stuff as stuff from The Stolen Heir, as an example. I gave this book 3.75 because the only stuff that happened was kind of by the end, but it wasn't that big. So I didn't get bored because I did read this book in 9 hours, but it was kind of boring in comparison to the first 2 books. Now, if you ask me, this series should have stopped here. It should have stopped here. Not a lot happened after this, if I do say so myself. And I did think that these 3 were good books, well-rounded, well-written, and everything. But the next 3, I just didn't like. In this book, we've got Dante Gallio and Simone Solomon. Dante is, again, part of the Irish Mafia. And Simone is from some rich family who wants nothing but for her to have success, but they keep her in such a cage because of the want for them to have for her to have success. She one day goes to a ball, and Dante is at the ball too because the ball is hosted at a hotel because he's doing a gun deal with one of the guests in attending. He finds himself in a pickle and jumps out of the window from, I think it was the 3rd story, and steals Simone's family car. But Simone is still in the car. So she basically gets kidnapped for a little while, and that's the first time they meet. And after that, they both instantly fell in love with each other. And everything happened quite fast in the first few chapters that you really got just smacked with it in your face. But after that, about nothing happened for a very long time. He does accidentally get her pregnant. And takes her virginity. And when she tells him, they get caught, and her parents are very mad, and says that she's never allowed to see Dante again. But of course, she wants to tell Dante that she is with child, and she wants to run away with Dante. She tells Dante to meet her at a gazebo at midnight. But first of all, Dante is late because he was caught by the Russians that tried to kill him. He showed up bloody and bruised, and she got so scared that she just said, "I never want to see you again. This is over," and runs back home without telling him she is pregnant. a lot of time goes by. I think it's 9 years that goes by before they meet again and try to reconnect. Dante gets mad about the fact that she kept his son from her. She does eventually get kidnapped, and a lot of stuff happens after that. I said that this would not be a spoiler-free video, but I don't want to say the biggest things that happen at the end of each of these books. But yeah, I did not like Bloody Heart, first of all, because it was a surprise pregnancy trope, and I don't really like that trope. Also, this was not as well written as the other books, if you ask me. And also the things that she called him and he called her, and the things they said, I didn't like this book. I gave this book 2.5 stars. Next one, we've got Broken Vow. Broken Vow follows Rihanna Griffin from the Irish Mafia, and it follows Raylan. And Raylan is Dante's military buddy, because he went to the military for a while. And Rihanna is said to be in danger, so Dante asks Rayleigh to be her bodyguard. And Rihanna hates it because she's a very private person and she's an attorney and just wants to be left alone. But obviously, he's not going to do that. And after a few turn of events and her nearly losing her life 2 times, he takes her to his family farm and to keep her protected there. And after a while and after a lot of stuff, she decides, this is where I'm meant to be, this is my home, and buys a building in a town nearby and moves her attorney company to there. Again, I don't have a lot to say about this book. This book was the longest book out of all of them. I still read her in a day, but I liked it, but at the same time, I didn't. It could have been better. It definitely could have been better. And I didn't like that the stuff happened with such, big spaces in between, because I think in the first, 100 pages, the 2 murder attempts happened, and it wasn't until, the last 100 pages that something happened again. And that's still, 200 pages worth of basically nothing. It was definitely better than Bloody Heart, and I gave Broken Vow 3 stars. Last but not least, we've got Heavy Crown. Heavy Crown follows Sebastian Gallo from the Italian family. It also follows Yelena Yenea, who is the Bratava boss's daughter, which means forbidden love. Sebastian wasn't really a part of the mafia life either, just like Nessa from book 2. He wanted to be an pro athlete, but unfortunately that was not possible because one of Dante's bodyguards smashed Dante's knees in. These books also do come with illustration. This is an example from Heavy Crown. And their story is cute and a lot of stuff happened. And this was definitely the best one of the last books. But again, it didn't blow me out of the park. It didn't blow me out of the park in the same way Stolen Air did. I think definitely these 3, if you ask me, are the best books in the series. With this one being the best, this one being the next best, and this one being the third. But Yelena wants to get out. She doesn't want to be her father's pawn anymore. And she just wants to be able to love Sebastian. But because of different stuff that I can't quite remember, that's also another problem with this series. It's not very memorable. It's not a series I'm thinking about often. But I guess it's kind of good. But she does eventually get what she wants, which is Sebastian, but Sebastian never fully regains, like, the power of his knee. Now, if you would want me to rate this series, which would be hard considering the fact that I don't like it, I would give it a 3.25 at best, because, and the only reason it's getting that is because Stolen Heir was so good. And a lot of people do stop reading this series after Brutal Prince, which I do get, but I would more stop after Savage Lover. I feel like these books were unnecessary. I love that we got people from all of the families, and I like that we got all of the siblings, but I still feel like we could have gone without the last 3 books, because as you can see, it's not a small series. Even though it's thin books, it's not a small series. I still spent a week reading these. Would I read these again? No. Except for Stolen Heir. I'm gonna read her again. But basically, to summarize, first 3, good, very good. Last 3, not so good. Series, a 3.25, a 3, about there. Best book, Stolen Heir. Worst book, Bloody Heart. Thank you for watching. Bye.